This is a short but powerful follow along routine made for beginner climbers or really anyone interested in improving their core, upper body strength and shoulder stability. To do this routine, you'll need something to hang from like rings or a bar, as well as a yoga mat. We'll be doing pull-ups in this routine, which can be replaced with rows if you're not quite there yet, and check out the video at the end, which will explain how you can build up to that. I recommend doing this routine twice a week for best results. Let's get straight into it. Okay, so we're going to begin the session with a dead hang. So hanging from your bar or from the rings for 45 seconds. What we're going to do is place as much body weight as we can onto the rings. We're going to be training at grip strength and we'll begin. So what we're going to do here is just sink into the shoulders here and relax as much as we can. Now 45 seconds, we're going to stay here if we can, and 45 seconds is a really good starting point to kind of build up to. But if you're not quite there yet, that's okay. Just drop down and shake it out. Let your body get heavy and really grip the bar or the rings. And other than that, we can relax the rest of the body for this 45 seconds. Okay, we'll move on to our next exercise. We come straight down to the floor into a static bear. So we're going to start with knees on the ground, hands on the ground, and then we're going to keep that back flat and then pop the knees up. And for about 45 seconds, we're going to switch between lifting opposite hands and legs, and just make sure we're keeping that back flat. And one key cue is to keep the knees close to the ground. So we don't want the knees up here. 45 seconds. Okay, that's 45 seconds on our static bear. We're going to come back onto the rings now, but this time, rather than just a dead hang, we're going to perform a couple of scapular pull-ups. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw the scapula back and down. We're going to make some space for our ears, so you'll feel the elbow and the bicep sort of coming away from your ears. And the aim is to pull that scapula down. And we're going to perform about 8 reps here. So aiming to keep the elbow locked out, perfectly straight, pulling the shoulders down. Okay, we'll move back into our next core exercise on the ground. We're going to get into reverse crunches, and we're going to repeat that for 45 seconds. So kicking the knees and the feet out. Ideally, you would have these feet down nice and low, but if that's a little bit too difficult, you can keep it up a little bit higher. So we're just lifting the knees, or pulling the knees towards the face and lifting the hips up off the ground. You can hold a little pause there at the top. Okay, and we'll switch back now. But rather than going straight back to the rings, we're going to stay on the ground and we're going to do a scapular push-up. So whereas before we were lifting the scapula, here we're going to be inner push-up, and we're going to sink down into the shoulders, and then we're going to round the back. So it's a very small movement. We're just keeping the elbows locked, sinking into the shoulders as much as you can, squeezing the shoulder blades back together, and then rounding the back. Really pressing into the floor with the hands, keeping the rest of the body nice and stable and engaged, glutes squeezed, and we're doing about 15 reps there. Okay, switching back into another core exercise. This time we're going to do just bicycles. So we're going to be bringing the elbow to the knee, and we're going to be swapping sides for 45 seconds. Just take a moment to rest, and we'll start in 2, 1, off we go. So crossing over the body, knee to elbow, and pushing away with that opposite leg. Fifteen seconds left. Trying to really lift that shoulder blade off the ground as you twist. Okay, time. So we'll come back up onto the rings, and now we're going to perform 5 pull-ups. So I'm going to whip my shirt off so you can see my shoulders and what they're doing. And again, if you can't do pull-ups, or if you're stronger in pull-ups, you could even weight them. But if you're not quite there yet with pull-ups, you can do rows. So we're going to do 5 really nice, strong, slow, controlled pull-ups. And if you need to, you could even use a band. So 5 good reps starting from all the way at the bottom. So I'll switch around so you can see my shoulders and my back. So we really want to be engaging the lats here. Off we go. Little pause up the top, pause at the bottom as well. Keeping the glutes squeezed and the core engaged as we come up. Okay, so that's 5. If you felt like that was pretty easy, you might be able to extend that to say 6 or 8 reps. But let's get back into our core movement. Our next one is tabletop crunches. So here, we're just going to be keeping the knees at a 90-degree angle and lifting the feet, and we're going to reach from overhead. 45 seconds. We're going to repeat. Off we go. So reaching fingertips just behind the butt there. Lifting the shoulder blades off the floor. Okay, time. Alrighty. Okay, final exercise of the round. We're going to get into push-ups, and just standard push-ups. We'll go for 10. If you need to, you can elevate your hands. That'll make things a little bit easier. But all the way to the floor, breathing out as you come up. 10 reps. Okay, for our core movement, we'll switch back onto your back, or almost onto your back. We're going to do a supported kick out. So chest out and shoulders back here, elbows and hands on the ground. And we're going to extend the legs for 45 seconds. So trying not to round through the shoulders here. We want to be pushing the chest out and just looking up to relax the head and neck. Okay, time. So we're going to repeat that whole round once more again, just with a slightly different exercise. So if you feel like you want to do the more intense version of each exercise that I'm going to go through, you can do that. Otherwise, you can stick with the easier version that I've just demonstrated. So we'll get straight back into our hang, but this time it's going to be a dynamic hang. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch from the left hand to the right hand for 45 seconds. I'll switch around. 3, 2, 1, off we go. So we're fully weighting the shoulder. And I really like doing this on the rings because we can get into a little bit of a rhythm, but it's fine doing this on the bar as well. Just letting your body weight hang into that shoulder. Another 10 seconds. Okay, we get back into our next core exercise. So back into the static bear. So knees on the ground, hands on the ground. 2, 1, 45 seconds. So for a little bit more difficult variation on the static bear, we can extend the elbows and the knees, but really try and keep this core nice and stable as we move. We really want to keep the hips and shoulders in the exact same position while we're just moving those limbs. Time. Okay, we'll jump back up onto the rings. We're going to get into scapular pull-ups as well. So we're going to do about 10 or 15 reps. We're just keeping them nice and slow. We want to draw the shoulder blades down, keeping the elbows straight. So nice slow reps. Relaxing at the lower part of the rep as you pull. If you get to 10 reps and if you feel like that's enough, if you're pretty spent from that 10, that's okay. But if not, we'll go up to 15. Okay. We'll come back down onto the mat. We'll get into our reverse crunches again. 45 seconds. We'll take a second to rest, catch the breath.
Okay, lifting the knees up and off we go. We're gonna lift the knees, kicking out. So we want the hips and the lower back coming off the floor. The more momentum you use, the easier it will be. So really try and use your midsection and the abdominals to do the lifting. Okay, we'll move into our next movement, which is scap push-ups again, but this time we're going to do them on your elbows. So we're on kind of like a sphinx position here, hands and elbows at shoulder width, and then we'll extend the legs into a plank, and we're going to do 15 retractions of the shoulder blades. So squeezing the shoulder blades back together and then rounding the back. Keep that core engaged. Lift the head. Keep the knees locked. 5 more. Okay. Back into tabletop crunches. So lying on your back, knees bent at 90 degrees, and this time we're reaching up for the ankles. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, off we go. Get back into our major movement. Okay, so we get another set of pull-ups, 5 reps. Again, nice and slow, starting from that dead hang position and lifting all the way up, ideally fists to armpits. All the way until we get straight elbows. Okay, back down onto the ground for bicycle crunches. So opposite knee to elbow, 45 seconds. Off we go. Pulling the shoulder blade off the floor. Fifteen more seconds. Breathing out as you twist. Time. Okay. That's our pull-ups and bicycles out of the way. Let's get back into push-ups. This time we're going to do a slightly harder variation. What we're going to do is an archer push-up. So I'm going to perform it this way so you can see how I'm angling towards me. So to set up for the archer push-up, we're going to perform a push-up with one elbow straight and one elbow bent, and we're going to do 5 each side. So this arm's just the supportive arm, and the left hand here is the one that's working. If you're not sure about this, we can stick to regular push-ups. We'll switch sides. There's a little bit of external rotation on this hand. Okay, so push-ups out of the way. Let's get back into our next core exercise. Crunch kicks. So again, chest out, pull those shoulders back, and we're going for 45 seconds, kicking out. Time.
Okay, that's all for this routine. If you'd like to check out the full routine where we go through an extra round with some more difficult variations, check out the Momentum membership, which is full of follow along routines just like this one. You can see more information on this and my other programs on my new website, chasemountains.io. Finally, check out this video, which details how you can build up to doing your first pull-up. I'll see you on the summit.